Happy Canada Day, everyone! And what better way to celebrate this Canadian day than by apologizing? Welcome to J-ROYL, the best smelling channel on YouTube. I talk about fragrances, guys. Cologne, perfume, whatever you want to call them. I just like smelling good, and I like when you guys smell good, so I'm trying to give you all the advice that I can. My fragrance collection has made a ton of changes over the years. I've bought a bunch, I've sold a bunch. It goes through this rotation. It's like a revolving door of smelliness. These are the 10 fragrances I regret selling, which I may repurchase in the Fragrancebuy sale that's happening right now. The first one being Beach Hut Man by Amouage. Like all these fragrances, I like Beach Hut Man. I think it's a great fragrance. What's really cool about it is it's this kind of green, fresh woodiness, and it's a strong performer even though it's friendly in the fresh weather. I just was a little confused when I first smelt it because I thought it was gonna be a beachy fragrance. I thought Amouage was finally gonna put out something that's like super good for the summer, maybe a bit salty, aquatic, and citrus heavy, but it wasn't. Literally smells like what a beach hut would be made out of, rather than being composed completely of fresh notes. Still very unique and very fun, and yeah, the more I think about it, the more I kind of miss it. I really wish it was back in my collection. Mainly for the collection aspect, because I have so many Amouage fragrances, weird flex, but okay. It would help me round out my collection so I'd have a better balance of cool weather and warm weather Amouages. The next frag I miss is 24 Ice Gold. This one, I don't even remember selling. I think it was part of a package deal on a garage sale or something, and I just threw it in and let it go, but I really loved 24 Ice Gold. I loved the performance. I loved the aspect of it that was a bit floral, but I didn't feel feminine wearing it. It's basically Dolce & Gabbana light blue for women, but for men. It was really, really fun to wear. The bottle was cool. It went really well with my 24 Gold bottle, which I still have. And I wore it quite a bit. It lasted all day on me. Like, it had a lot of pros to it. And it's cheap enough that I should have just kept it. I didn't really make any profit on it. I definitely took a loss. So yeah, a bit of a blunder on my part, but who knows, maybe it'll be back in my possession soon. We got a couple heavy hitters next. So first one being Spiritueuse Double Vanille by Guerlain. Yeah, sold it, yeah. So it just kind of felt like I was admiring it from afar. Like, I loved knowing that I had it. I loved opening my wine cooler and seeing it and being like, wow, there it is. This awesome vanilla fragrance. But I was doing a mental tally and I wasn't wearing it. I have too many things to wear. And because it's so dense of a fragrance, I could only wear it a couple months out of the year comfortably. Half my collection I can only wear for 2 months. So like, if I wore one fragrance every day, I wouldn't go through them all. So I saw an opportunity to make some bucks. And there it is, the rest is history. It's very good. It's different than the other vanilla fragrances I have in my collection, other than your basic vanilla bombs, but also the citrus vanilla ones I have. I don't really have that kind of slightly smoky vibe that you get with Spiritueuse SDV, but it's pretty expensive, so maybe I won't buy it again. But I regret selling it. I wish I just kept it, man. Next up is another heavy fragrance, and it's Fève Délicieuse by Dior. A huge tonka bean sensation, really, really strong, just a delicious fragrance. And similar to Spiritueuse, I wasn't really wearing it a ton, especially at that time when I owned it, when I had so many similar fragrances. Tonka Imperial, Oajan, kind of similar-ish feel to it. All these big, heavy, sweet fragrances that lasted days, I wasn't wearing. So it was more a purchase I made based on recommendation and hype and smell, but I didn't think of the practical element to it of using it as a fragrance on a regular basis. I still regret selling it because even though I didn't wear it a ton, I did smell it a lot. Like, I would just walk by and do like a spray and be like, ooh, nice. Number 5 is one that's very relevant to me now. It's a summer fragrance. It's a cheap summer fragrance too, and geez, why did I get rid of it? L'Eau de Ssey per Homme Summer Edition with the little kiwi design. It's such an amazing summer fragrance for me. It's a flanker of one of the first fragrances I ever used to rock as my signature scent. And knowing how hot it is out today, I would have loved to worn it, but I don't have it anymore because kind of like 24 Ice Gold, it was sold as a package deal. Maybe in the same package. Lucky person, whoever got that. This is one that I could see myself picking up on Fragrancebuy because it is very cheap and you can just toss it in and, you know, not pay for shipping, which is pretty cool. There's actually a few of those low ssey pour Homme flankers that I'm kind of into getting, so we'll see. Sneaking its way into the top 5 is the king, Aventus. Some of you may know I gave my bottle of Aventus to my brother as kind of a moving gift. He was moving cities and I'm like, yo, smell really good in this new city of yours, bro. It wasn't too difficult at the time to give away Aventus, simply because Parfums Vintage, they sent me a bunch of really decent Aventus clones. And I had so many at my disposal. Why should I hold on to this when I already have like 5 others that people think is Aventus when I wear it? And I just wanted my brother to have that prestige of knowing that he has the real deal. It's like a full presentation bottle. It's expensive as hell. It's a good batch. And he's been enjoying it ever since. But are you really a frag head if you don't have at least 1 bottle of Aventus? That's how I'm thinking now. But you guys shouldn't think that. Don't go out and spend epic money on Aventus just because you feel like you need to as a rite of passage. Not everyone needs to smell like it, because now I've been approached by peasants that don't collect fragrances that are like, hey man, you wearing Aventus? And I'll be like, actually it's called the one Intense, but, and then they think it's Dolce & Gabbana, right? I'm like, no, you don't get it. Okay, never mind. But it was nice to see that Aventus bottle in my collection. Not gonna lie. This one I don't regret, I just miss it. I'm really happy that I, gave it away and I sold it for free. I do wish I had another bottle of it. Maybe I'll get one. Number 4 was recently chatted about by me on my Dior Homme fragrances I missed, and it's the original Dior Homme. I regret selling Dior Homme out of principle. It's not a fragrance I wore a ton, to be completely honest. I would have wore the crap out of Dior Homme when it was just the only Dior Homme fragrance out there and there was no other options. It was incredible. But over time, I got better alternatives for the cold, for the warmth, and then for the middle temperatures, yeah. Dior Homme just was cleaner to me. It was more straightforward and simplistic. But it was the original. And I feel because of my methodology of thinking, this one's for this one's for this one's for that, I felt like I forgot about Dior Homme and I let it fall through the wayside. That's the only issue I have with the whole compartmentalization of fragrances and having a very specific set of rules you place on yourself of when you should wear fragrances. When that happens, that's when you sell fragrances like Dior Homme, which I wish I still had, but I just oversimplified its usage and just got rid of it. I miss you, buddy. All right, the top 3 here, I really miss these fragrances. Number 3, thankfully went to a friend of mine, but it is by Acqua de Parma and it's Colonia Club. It is a great fragrance. Green, fresh, barbershop-y type of feel. I sort of equated it to the green Irish tweed of Acqua de Parma. It's that same sort of sophistication and class, great performance, a little mature, which is why I was like, you know what, maybe I don't need it because I can just wear something a little more youthful, but I just miss it. It smells so good, really masculine. I don't always want to smell a goofball after all. I sold it for a really stupid reason because of the green bottle. Like, I love the green bottle, but I didn't have any other green bottles to match it with, and I had my like brown ingredient lines and my blue Mediterranean line ones. And then I just had this random green one. I'm like, oh, what do I need this for? In fact, that's actually why I probably sold Colonia Essenza as well. The second last fragrance I regret selling is another Dior in a private collection. It is Gris Montaigne. It is a beautiful rose fragrance. Just smells heavenly. And the reason I sold this was 2 stupid reasons. One, I already had a decent amount of rose-based fragrances. I had Lyric Man, I had my boy L'Homme Ultime. Did I really need another rose fragrance that is light enough to be worn in the springtime and even the summer? At the time, no. And I was also a little annoyed that my bottle size was bigger than the other ones in my collection. I've been collecting the 125 ml presentation, And I got the big boy for Gris Montaigne, and it was just too big. It was 250 mils. I was never gonna use it. Let's just get rid of it. But now I'm really sad that I did, because A, it's been renamed, not necessarily reformulated. I think the smell is pretty similar, but you can't get Montaigne anymore. And now it's gonna be really hard to get it again, because those are really expensive fragrances. Those private blends are just killer, dude. But my number one fragrance that I regret selling, that I often forget about, but man, oh man, whenever I see it pop up somewhere, I'm like, wow, why did I get rid of that? Xerjoff Renaissance is probably my favorite use of the mint note in fragrances. I love it, I still have it, don't worry. Probably my favorite mint fragrance ever is one that I used to own and sold, and it's called Géranium pour Monsieur. It's the fragrance that I regret selling the most. Even though it's labeled as a geranium fragrance, which it does have, it's the mintiness that got me. This fragrance is absolutely incredible. It is so refreshing, so gentlemanly, professional. It has everything that I want in a fragrance. Mint is such a delicate note. It usually just leaves after a couple hours, unless you get one of those like heavy kind of medicinal, thick mint notes you can sometimes find that are almost syrupy. This one's light, it's fresh, and it really, really is a bummer that I sold it. I feel much happier and I'm way more proud of what I own now. I'm really proud of my collection now. I think it is a much better version of its previous bloated self, but I will be scouring Fragrancebuy because I might have to replenish some of these old faves that I no longer own. I will leave some more information about Fragrancebuy's Canada Day celebration down below if you're looking to replenish your stock as well. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Bye, 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 bye.